What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. I am Pitching Ninja, and I'm here with a very comely Will Leahey. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, sure, Ninja. Speaking of good things, yesterday, what a day for pitching. We had gems being tossed all over the place. The leader of the charge, however, was our guy, Paul Skenes. I think he made a great push to be the NL star of the All-Star game, Ninja. But let's break this game down a little bit, Ninja. What did you like the most from this Paul Skenes outing?
Number one, I think you're underselling him. I think he could be the AL and NL starter.
That's true.
And just be the only one that pitches, and I think everybody would be satisfied with that. I don't want to diss my man Tarek Skubal, who's an absolute stud, no doubt. But oh my God, Paul Skenes, he had 11 strikeouts in 7 no-hit, no-run innings, bringing his ERA now to 1.9. But geez, I can't even do this guy justice. He had these fastballs up to 100 miles an hour. Pinpoint command the entire game, had these wicked splinkers, and his best pitch, I thought yesterday, were these sliders. He had these backdoor sliders that were absolutely filthy. I feel like he just picks a pitch and says, I'm going to dominate with this pitch today. I'm going to dominate with this pitch today. He has done this with his fastball this year. He's done it with his splinker. He's done it with his curveball. He did it with his backdoor slider yesterday. Here's a home plate view of his backdoor slider. And you can see this is impossible. I mean, it's not just the break of the pitch, but it's also his release point, which makes it look like it's breaking even more. Very, very tough to hit, as you can see. Here's his pregame routine. Look at all he does to get ready. He basically borrows something from almost every pitching guru. I see weighted balls from Driveline. I see a connection ball under his arm from Texas Baseball Ranch. He's throwing a football, which is a Tom House thing and a Nolan Ryan thing. Dude does everything to prepare. This is his second start with 11 Ks over 6 innings with no hits. And the only other pitcher to do that in the same season was Nolan freaking Ryan at the top of his game in 1973. Of course, Nolan Ryan got the no-hitter both of those times, but it's the only other pitcher to have 2 starts of 11 Ks and 6 or more no-hit innings.
He's also only pitched 11 games this season.
What the hell are we watching here, Will? This is ridiculous. Only 3 pitchers in MLB history have recorded multiple starts in a season with 10-plus strikeouts, no hits, and no more than 1 walk allowed. And they are Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and Paul Skenes. And again, Paul Skenes has only thrown how many games?
11.
This is my reaction watching him, and I hope everybody else's reaction out there. He may be the best pitcher on the planet. I still give it to Tarek Skubal, but he's making Skubal work for that title.
So, Ninja, he threw 99 pitches through 7 innings. There's really good arguments to be made for keeping him in or taking him out. Honestly, I'm still kind of on the fence. But if you are the manager, you have to make the choice. What are you going with?
So this is my decision. And I know Shelton said that Paul Skenes was tired. And if Paul Skenes said he was tired, that's a decision right there. I believe Paul Skenes after the game said, of course, I'd love to have gone for it. So I don't know. I think they were reacting and saying he was tired. Whatever. I would have let him go out for the next inning. I believe his 6th and 7th inning this game, he threw a total of 13 pitches. That tells you something. His velo was down a little bit those 2 innings. He hadn't had the Ks that he did in those last 2 innings, but that might have worked to his advantage because he would have been able to pitch to contact and hopefully gotten some balls hit right at somebody. Personally, I would have let him go 1 more inning and see how it went. You're not committed putting a guy out there to keep him out for the whole inning. If it gets away from him, you pull him. I know what they're worried about, and I appreciate it. You had Johan Santana, who basically threw a no-hitter, 135 pitches or somewhere around that, and it kind of ruined the rest of his career. So you don't want something like that to happen. Lord knows you don't. You have a huge asset. You want to take care of it. You don't want to trash it because this is going to be good for 15, 20 years. So I get it. You want to be careful with him. I think the incremental approach where you have him go out for another inning, if he goes a 6-pitch inning, like he did the previous 2 innings you let him go 1 more. He has been known to throw over 120 pitches in a game. He did that at LSU. And in fact, threw 101 on his 120 something pitch in a game. So it's not like he fades at the end of games, but that's where my head would have been. I would have erred on having him go 1 more inning, play it by ear, gets in trouble, you pull him. But it's easy to say from where I am, I'm not entrusted with this multiple $100 million athlete Although I will put myself in that position. That's what I would have done.
I've never been on the side of pulling the guy, but this year and last year, it just kind of seems different. The injuries have been piling up so high, and he is such an incredible, important piece of the game right now that I understand it. I think I agree with you. I'd let him go out for a little bit, but I'm not mad at taking him out. To be honest, it takes a little bit of courage because you know you're going to get pushback, and also I'm actually fine with it.
And it also sets him up maybe to go deep in the All-Star game while we're watching him. And guys, remember, subscribe to this channel because we're going to have great All-Star interviews for you. We're going to be there. And I'm assuming we're going to get to talk to Paul Skenes because Paul and I are like this and even closer after these videos where I brown nose him the entire time.
Yeah, let's probably go to the whip around the league, Ninja. Enough Skenes.
Pure glazing of Paul Skenes here. Paul Skenes pitched fantastic yesterday, and he had to because the Pirates ended up beating the Brewers 1-0 in a great pitcher's duel. Aaron Savali was outstanding against him. He had 6 Ks in 6 1/3 innings, giving up 1 run. He had this front door two-seamer, this cutter, curveball for a sword, and wicked sweeper. Really good outing from Savali, but he's no Paul Skenes. Jack Flaherty had 4 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run, only gave up 2 hits. Very sharp in his return, as the Tigers mauled the Guardians 10-1. He had these sliders, including this wicked back foot slider. He faced Spencer Howard, who had 4 Ks in 3 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had this bend-the-knee changeup. David Peterson was very good yesterday with 5 Ks in 6 scoreless innings, giving up only 4 hits. He threw a bunch of nasty curveballs as the Mets blanked the Nats 7-0. He faced Mackenzie Gore, who had 4 Ks in 4 2/3 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had these heaters. Kevin Gausman had 3 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 2 runs as the Blue Jays soared past the Giants 5-2. He had these fastballs. I don't think he had any Ks on his splitters. That's kind of weird. He faced Jordan Hicks, who had 1 K in 4 1/3 innings, giving up 5 runs, and had this sweeper. The Astros flew past the Marlins 6-3. Jake Bloss had 4 Ks in 4 innings, giving up 2 hits, and had these curveballs. He faced Roddery Munoz, who had 2 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs, and had this slider. The Mariners unleashed holy hell on the Angels 11-0, as Luis Castillo had 5 Ks in 6 scoreless innings, giving up 4 hits. He dominated with his fastballs and had this slider for a sword, a real workmanlike effort by Castillo, who just Luis Castillo'd them. The Rays stung the Yankees 5-4. Shane Baz had 5 Ks in 4 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had these 98-mile-an-hour heaters and slider. He faced nasty Nestor Cortez, who had 4 Ks in 4 1/3 innings, but gave up a nasty 5 runs. Had these changeups and cutters. My runner-up for pitcher's duel of the day, Max Fried had 7 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and then 1 run was on a home run, so what, Will? It doesn't count.
Definitely not.
It did, unfortunately, in this game. He had these fastballs and slider for a sword as the Braves lost 1-0 on that not counting home run. He was out-dueled by Brandon Pfaadt, who had 4 Ks in 6 scoreless innings, giving up 3 hits, and had his trademark sweepers. Tanner Houck was incredible yesterday with 6 Ks in 6 scoreless innings. He had lots and lots of sliders, including his back foot slider. He's now 5th in ERA in MLB at 2.54 and is looking every bit the stud that he is. I know how you feel about Tanner Houck.
Give him the Hawk, too. I'll tell you that much.
Lord. He outdueled Luis Medina, who had 7 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 6 runs, and had these curveballs. The Cubs blanked the Orioles again, 8-0. Justin Steele was fantastic yesterday. He had 4 Ks in 7 scoreless innings. Let's put some respect on the man of Steele's name. His ERA this year, 2.71. These fastballs and sliders. Here's an overlay of his fastball and slider that show you how treacherous that combination can be. I watched this dude, and he just gets it done almost every time. A competitor, love his stuff. Hat tip to Justin Steele. He faced Albert Suarez, who had 4 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had these fastballs and elevated changeup. The Phillies easily beat the Dodgers yesterday, 5-1. Aaron Nola went 6 innings with 9 Ks.
Nice.
Giving up 1 run and looked really, really good. If anything, I think Aaron Nola is still underrated. He had these painted fastballs, knuckle curves, picked up a sword, and had this disgusting sinker knuckle curve sequence. Look at that. And here's an overlay of his fastball knuckle curve. You can see why that combination is so tough on hitters. He faced Anthony Banda, who was the opener yesterday, who had 2 Ks in 1 inning and had this nasty back foot slider. In the second best pitching outing of the day, Hunter Greene. We need to talk about our all-star Hunter Greene here. 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up 1 run on only 2 hits. His first 7 outs of this game were all Ks, striking out the side twice. And I picked him to be the daily strikeout leader yesterday, and boy, did I think when he started the game with 7 outs and 7 strikeouts that was going to be the strikeout leader. Until Paul Skenes came along. Hunter Greene had these upper 90s fastballs, excellent command on them, a wicked slider for a sword, as the Reds unleash an avalanche of runs on the Rockies, won 8-1. Austin Gomber had 5 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had these nasty curveballs. I mean, Hunter Greene, absolutely deserving of being an all-star, and it looks like he's figured this all out right now. The man is a horse. Now, one of my filthiest relievers, Brian Abreu, had this slider for a sword. Jose Alvarado had this paintish 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Garrett Clevenger had this sweeper. Jake Cousins had these sliders and got a duck out of this one. Josh Hader had this sinker and slider. Colin Holderman had this wicked sweeper to get out of trouble and got absolutely fired up. Phil Maton had this nasty curveball. And Tanner Scott had this yucky slider. My top 5 filthiest pitches of the day yesterday. At number 5, I have Tanner Houck and his sliders, and we're going to give him a tie with Justin Steele's stuff because I just can't decide. At number 4, Aaron Nola and his knuckle curves and that overlay. At number 3, Hunter Greene and basically everything, just dominant yesterday. At number 2, Jason Adam and his soul-stealing changeups. I believe he now owns Juan Soto's soul because of this sequence. Look at Soto's reaction after that first one. It's almost like he saw a ghost, or like the monsters just sucked his talent right out of him. And then the rest of the 2, it was over. It was over after the first changeup. Filthy stuff from Jason Adam. And at number 1, there is no doubt who number 1 is. It's Paul Skenes. You go, Paul. Round of applause. Fantastic stuff. And now, my pitching ninja moment of Zen. This usher has to win Usher of the Year, or Most Valuable Usher, or whatever awards we give ushers. Look at him help out this poor kid.
And it's the dong of the day coming off the bat of Kyle Schwarber for absolutely abusing this ball. I'm not sure what the stats read, but it looked like it was about 130, 135 off the bat. Can't blame Dad for not catching it.
And shout out to AJ Cernasek for replying to the video on Instagram and basically calling his shot here, saying that Will was going to have this as his dong of the day. As always feel free to chime in on any platform on any of this stuff. My picks of the day today are a 4-leg same-game parlay plus. I'm going to start out with a same-game parlay of Tyler Anderson for 4 Ks or more and Brian Wu for 4 Ks or more, and top it off with Tarek Skubal for 7 Ks or more and Ranger Suarez for 6 Ks or more. Then I'm going to add in my Pitching Ninja Profit Boost, which gives you a 30% profit boost for any same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus of 4 legs or more. What would your picks of the day be?